Hey, everybody, welcome to Boston Centric, one of the least prepared sports shows in a town with incredibly unprepared shows about sports. But we are
Twitter
here.
account coming 2022.
We're like a walking Twitter account.
Right as soon as I come up with a really cool password.
All right, that's Dan Bulger. I'm Mike Dorval. We are here. We are talking Boston sports on a semi-weekly basis when we are not in Key West, hoping to survive. How was Key West?
I mean, all the things I did would make you think that 98% of the population had a great time.
Yeah.
But James Patterson is like this too. We're doing the exterior of a good time, but if you gave us the option to just go sit in a chair in our place, we would probably take it.
That is why when James said he was moving down there to do it, I didn't understand it.
The comedy aspect's been great for James.
That is true. That is a good point. Yeah. But I guess, so not necessarily I didn't understand it, but I'm feeling like it's going to be good for him. But so much of what so many people would appreciate about it will be completely wasted on James.
Yeah. Like there was at one point some big fat fuck driving on a motorized cooler. And I'm like, well, this should be the flag of this place.
It'll be the official Key West coat of arms.
Yeah. Like that guy doesn't know that I'm just staring at him angry.
He knows.
Yeah.
But the beauty of it, he doesn't care. It's not that he's unaware. He just doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, no, all is lost.
That's power. All right. Speaking of power, what a weird game last night. So we were coming in. I don't know when this is getting posted, but last night
25-0.
25-0. It was a very weird game. Not that weird. I mean, I guess it's straightforward. The Patriots looked great. They played really well. They crushed a team that has not been that bad. I mean, they were 4-5 coming into the game.
They got rolled the week before, though.
Yeah, that game was a fucking slog. That was not a fun game to watch.
No, because even us, like in the first half, I think they said Mac Jones attempted more than a 7-yard pass like once in the whole half.
Yeah.
So we're really just we're trying to make pars and just at the US Open and just assume everybody else is going to shoot 10 over.
Which is exactly what they did. I mean, they knew they were Greg Norman, and they just said, look, if we just don't put it in the water, we win.
Yeah. Wait for the shark to turn lobster.
Exactly. And that's exactly what happened. And they dominated.
Yeah.
They dominated.
I've decided I'm going to start learning these Patriot fellas' names. Our defense is fucking sick.
That's a big step forward. All right. Who's the best defender on the Patriots, Dan?
Number 9.
And his name is, I'm not that I'm not proud of you knowing the number.
Ted Williams?
It is not.
Rajon Rondo?
It's not.
Greg Minor?
Yes.
Trying to think of my favorite 9s.
I want to like really acknowledge a good pull there on the Greg Minor one.
Oh, he got fucking robbed in the dunk contest.
Yep.
Brent Berry beat him.
Kedrick Brown and Greg Minor were absolutely robbed both times when they were involved in the dunk contests.
Yeah. And I still have hope for Jerome Moisa.
That's why you've got hope in your heart.
Around 35. You never know when a guy's going to develop an elbow jumper.
I would really love it. That one of the reasons I love the G League existing is because I feel like at some point we're going to have that story. There's going to be some bust. Like, Anthony Bennett is going to get into the G League. He's going to figure some shit out, and he's going to start playing 20 minutes for a contender.
Yeah. Well, Royce White was a hope with that, right? Remember he was afraid of flying?
Right.
But he was like an NBA talent, so if you could ever just get around that.
Yeah, he was a huge talent. He just could not get on a plane.
Yeah, unbelievable. I would have somebody just knock me out with a bat.
Yeah, go A-team.
And just get me on a fucking plane. Oh, that was in the A-team?
Yeah. So Mr. T, who played B.A. Baracus in the A-team, and this is why our demographic is just beautifully young. B.A. Baracus on the A-team, they would have to knock him out every time he got on a plane.
What is Mr. T's real name? Is it Terry or something? Or is his last
Look up.
name?
Hang on. Producer Paul, do you know his last name? Mr. T, hang on. Oh, born Lawrence Terode.
Okay, so last name T. He's LT.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh.
Now, he was famous before LT, though. Am I wrong?
Oh, yes.
Because he broke in 1982. Yeah. He became famous in 82, and I don't think Lawrence Taylor was a huge star in 82.
Oh, I thought the 18 was the 70s.
No.
Oh.
How old do you think I am?
You could say anything, really.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. I have the heart of a Korean War veteran.
Oh, for sure. You and Eric Tynan should get together and talk about the gold standard.
Yeah, when we hang, it's an old hang. It's an old hang. Yeah. All right. So the Patriots, you watched the game. Are they a contender? They're a contender.
I want to say no, mainly because of we went a whole half and didn't throw the ball down the field once. We didn't have to.
You don't have to.
Yeah, but at some point you're going to have to.
But he has done it. I mean, he can do it.
Okay, well then I guess
it's not that he's never done it. He just didn't need to do it last night.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like the people that are really good are doing it no matter what. Like that's your offense. Like at some point to win the title, I feel like you've got to come back from 2 scores down at some point.
Well, 2 points there. One, if you're down 2, you're usually not winning. I mean, we've gotten spoiled by the Tom Brady era and thinking, all right, we're down 2 touchdowns, we can still win this.
But Tom Brady, I mean, contender for the title, like, yeah. That's, I mean, we're talking about
Tom Brady
doing a very hard thing here.
When he won championships in New England, he rarely threw downfield. Rarely. Without Randy Moss, he very rarely threw passes longer than 20 yards. I mean, that was
pretty far. Whole field's only
20 yards.
yards.
That's not throwing downfield.
Yeah, but it was also a Gronk thing. Like you had Gronk was essentially a down the seam 15, 20-yard lock.
He didn't have Gronk the first 3 years he won the first 3 Super Bowls.
Okay, but now we're going back into the Mr. T era here. Like a fucking like the football has changed. Like to win the title, I feel like you've got to have the ability to come back from multiple scores at some point during the playoffs.
I mean, at some point, you don't need to throw downfield that far to be able to come back from 2 scores. It's not all long bombs.
I mean, we saw a Super Bowl where no team punted.
Yeah.
We saw a year where we had to come back
13.
against the Ravens. We were down 2 scores twice.
Yeah, but the Patriots won a Super Bowl where they scored 13 points.
All right. I mean, well, I'm just saying that's kind of rarer. It doesn't happen as much anymore. It does happen. Like that Broncos championship was a defensive year. I just feel like from what I've seen, Patrick Mahomes, blah, blah, blah. Even like the Saints the last couple of years, I don't follow football. I don't even know if I really like it, honestly. But
I know. I can feel in your heart when are we getting to basketball?
The Saints the last couple of years had a real fucking killer D. And Drew Brees was sneaky old and more worried about his mole than anything. So, yeah.
Brees the last couple of years could not throw the ball anymore.
Yeah, it comes down to like, is your quarterback good enough to win you a game? And I just think it's asking a lot of a fucking some fucking bumpkin to go and do that for us. Apparently, Mac Jones was a great tennis player.
Yes, one of the reasons for his great lateral movement.
Yeah. Gordon Hayward as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's no part of you that hears that Gordon Hayward was a tennis player and goes, really?
It makes sense, though. When you watch him play basketball, he's very ambidextrous.
Yes, of course he played tennis.
Yeah.
You're waiting to play polo as soon as you retire.
He probably learned. You ever see those tennis courts that are they have a basketball hoop on them?
You mean all of them? Yeah.
Yeah. No, not all of them.
All of them.
No. It's a training for varsity JV hoops. Okay. If there ever was one.
Okay. All right.
So, I think I was trying to go for a joke there.
I'm sorry. Did I miss that?
Yeah, but that's all right. We haven't been together in a while.
threw it up at the basket, and I just watched it happen.
Just fucking.
Yeah.
Who is number 9? What's the man's name? Is that Junon?
Matthew Judon.
All right, cool. That's a guy I know.
Matthew Judon is making a very real case for Defensive Player of the Year and best free agent signing of the last 5 years.
Excellent. Yeah, he's clearly fucking awesome. Why is he number 9? Was he originally an offensive player or something?
No. So they did something in the offseason this year, which apparently Brady got pissed off about. They redesignated. It used to be only, I think, kickers and quarterbacks could be 0 to 19. And then receivers started doing it. Receivers all used to be in the 80s.
Okay.
And receivers started wearing lower numbers. And now it's like half the team can wear whatever number they want.
Yeah, what is that? I don't think I like that.
I don't like it either. No.
Okay.
But their opinion.
Yeah, the Cowboys definitely have a guy. He's a single-digit guy. He's nasty.
Yeah.
Has a ton of picks. Rookie.
Yep.
Can't think of his
Yeah.
name.
Yeah, but they're all wearing quarterback numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts. But apparently their feeling was they just needed linemen to really focus on wearing certain numbers so that they knew if they were supposed to be on the line of scrimmage.
Oh, illegal formations and shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That fucking, when they took back the field goal for the illegal formation, I mean, that was pretty much when I decided I was going to stop watching.
I don't know how a professional team can fuck that up so badly. Because it wasn't like, all right, everything is rushed and everything's hurried. They just got in position incorrectly.
Yeah, and it's not like you were running some trick play where like you were going to have an illegal man downfield or something. It's a fucking field goal.
Yeah, you're kicking the ball. You do this 15 times a game. How are you not in the right? How do you not know to put your hand on the line? Yeah,
it's amazing when guys don't know the rules. That's when I decided Russell Westbrook was a fucking idiot. Is the end of a game one time they were down by 1 with like 2 seconds, or down by 2 with 2 seconds left, so he couldn't make the free throw. So he's like, oh, I got to get my own rebound. So he just threw it like off the top of the backboard and got the rebound himself. But like nobody moved because it was like, you can't do that. Like
you can't do that.
Everybody would be doing that.
It's kind of crazy how many professional athletes don't actually know the rules of their sport. There was a tie game this week. It was Pittsburgh and I think Jacksonville. No, it was Pittsburgh and Detroit. They tied. They finished at the end of overtime, tied. And like half a dozen players all said, yeah, I didn't know we could tie. I thought we were going back out for another overtime.
I mean, it's surprising. But I guess with that, I mean, how often does that happen? And I guess it's just every couple of years you have to be reminded of that. But lining up to a field goal happens every practice,
that is much more egregious. That is much more egregious.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, let's talk some basketball. It's I'm 20% into the season, 15%, 20%, and I still don't know what the hell to think about the Boston Celtics. You any thoughts on this?
I think we suck ass.
You do?
Yeah.
How bad?
I think we have a really good defensive team.
Okay.
Which is a nice way to say a girl has nice skin. Like it's, again, modern.
I've never heard that as a euphemism. I've heard good personality a lot. I've never heard, hey, skin. Karen, say, yeah, she got good skin.
Do you mean white?
Yeah. I feel like good skin is somehow still objectifying somebody, but also not a compliment.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, okay.
You're accomplishing nothing with shit.
But the point is if you can't get enough buckets, you're just not going to win. They have a shit offensive team.
Do they need Jaylen Brown back, or are they still fundamentally flawed?
Yes. Yeah.
Or are they still flawed with Jaylen Brown?
I mean, I still am on camp. I'm still in camp. Let's trade Jaylen Brown. Okay. But I would certainly rather him play than not play.
I am now of the mind, I wasn't totally sure if they would work together, and I'm still not completely sure Jaylen and Jason are the championship pair we're hoping they are. But the good thing that has come out of Jaylen Brown missing time is Dennis Schroeder has shown he should be a starter on this team. The ball moves better when Schroeder is out there. Yes, Schroeder is a much better point guard than Marcus Smart, which I know you will agree with, but you think is damning with faint praise.
I am a much better point guard than Marcus Smart.
Marcus Smart needs to play 20 minutes coming off the bench, high energy.
For another team. For some other team.
possibly for
A
another
team, perhaps in China or in some, if team's trying to lose, they can give him more minutes. He's playing more minutes than he's ever played, and he's averaging fewer assists. Like, that's a fucking bad sign.
I know. He's just not looking to get guys shots. It's really bad.
No, it's not that he's not. It's he can't. Like, it's
not or can't. It's not happening.
It's a matter of ability. Like, he's a really good defensive player.
Yeah.
Which, again, in my book, do you remember when Rick Pitino said that Bruce Bowen is John Havlicek without a jump shot?
Yes.
That means he's bad.
Right.
Like, and then Bruce Bowen, is his retired number with the Spurs, but it's just because he was standing next to fucking Tim Duncan.
Well, he found a jump shot, and he was still not John Havlicek.
Yeah. No, John Havlicek.
Bruce Bowen basically taught himself to be a three-point shooter.
I would rather have John Havlicek now than Marcus Smart.
Yeah. Bruce Bowen was one of the first 3-and-D guys. But that was, that was the hallmark.
He was also the one of the last, stick the old foot under the jump shooter guys.
Yeah, he was dirty.
I mean, if Smart would even do something like that, I'd be cool with it. Do something.
He needs to do something. They need to stop asking him to be what he wants to be. What he wants to be is a starting point guard who's really making all the big plays on his team. And what he is a great sixth man. I still think he's got that in him to be a 20-minute-a-game guy. You come in, be the defensive-minded leader on the second team. That is a good role for Marcus Smart. Dennis Schroeder's starting point guard is very good. He's distributing the ball. He's getting everything to everybody.
I was listening. This isn't my opinion, but I was listening to the Hoop Collective, one of the 5 basketball podcasts I listen to. And, basically they said if Dennis Schroeder's your leading assist guy, that's a big problem.
Yeah.
Dennis Schroeder's a gunner. He comes off the bench. He's closer to Lou Williams than he is to a legit NBA winning point guard.
I think he can do it. He's done it when
fun. I like him.
Do it. He's done it when he's been asked to do it. Would I rather have Chris Paul? Yeah, I'd rather have Chris Paul. But I think Dennis Schroeder is better than your other options currently. I would like to see him there.
Yeah, but I'd even way rather have Mike Conley. I'd rather have he's making $6 million a year, and he's been in the NBA for 8 years. So if he was better, he'd probably be making $7 million.
Well, he got offered $80 million and foolishly did not take it in a time when everybody's got a great point guard. I don't know what he thought he was going to find. The gift that LeBron gives every mediocre player he plays with is he gets them signed for deals that they don't deserve.
Yeah. I mean, he weirdly is a good guy to play with LeBron. Yeah. He's a great guy. The best guys to play with LeBron who are guards are guys who, when LeBron sits for 10 minutes a game, can just go get you a couple buckets. Kyrie Irving, that's what he was good at. And then you put Kyrie Irving on a real team, and it's just fucking chaos. It doesn't help.
Kyrie was good.
Yes. I mean, the extreme example. They won the champ. Again, to win the championship, you have to be really good. So
you do. I've heard that.
Kyrie, what he was really good at was when LeBron would sit, they would just be like, just go get 8 buckets in a row. Just go see if you can get hot and, win the game when LeBron's on the bench. But especially with the Nets, and I was watching the Nets the other night, most times when Harden's doing that whole dribble around fucking shit, if James Harden's just by himself on a team, that's great. But if you have Kevin Durant on the court, what are you fucking dribbling 20 times for? Just give it to Kevin Durant. And the weird thing
is, when the 3 of them were together, Harden wasn't doing that last year.
He looked awful the other night when I watched him play the
this series looked terrible. When he got to Brooklyn last year, he was a little out of shape, but they fit okay together. I mean, the problem was they're healthy enough to play together. But when
back to the Celtics, I almost think Harden's struggling for the same reason Tatum is, though. They're playing a little more physical, so I just don't know if that dribble into a difficult shot nonsense works quite as good anymore.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Nor should it. It's like an impossible.
No, it's better right now. This is much better. I'm so thrilled that no longer can 3-point shooters just fling themselves into a defender and throw the ball towards the hoop and get 3 shots.
Yeah, yeah. I in LA, I went to go see the Clippers play the Blazers a couple weeks ago. $6 ticket. Great seat. Nobody goes to the Clippers. It's fucking sad.
It is. And they're building a new like $2 billion arena. No one's going there.
No one's gonna go. But I mean,
No.
I personally, I'm gonna always go. If I can get in for $6 to an NBA game, I'm gonna go every time.
Oh yeah.
But you know,
that's who's gonna go all the time is people who just can't afford to go to a Laker game.
You're just watching like Lillard and CJ McCollum, who used to be able to just come off these pick and rolls and devastate teams with kind of these little step backs and stuff.
Yeah.
And then, you know, Paul George is a 6'9", can turn, shoot, physical player. There's no world in which those guys should be as effective as Paul George.
Yeah.
So it's good that the rules are back, at least like making it a little bit manly again.
No, it's been better. It's been a lot better.
Yeah, yeah.
Now if they just fix replay, we'll be there.
Replay sucks.
Replay sucks.
But
and
yeah.
it's honest. I've been thinking about it. It is just because the NBA is cheap. If you just had a replay official, so don't have the referees come over and review the plays, just have a replay guy there at every game. And anytime he sees something that's borderline, okay, I'm pausing for a sec, I'm watching it again, I'm making the quick ruling, and I'm only overcalling something, or I'm only overturning something that is clear and blatant. And that's it. Like half the time that we lose are the refs coming over and watching again and thinking about whether they want to look bad by overturning their own call. And it sucks.
The thing they do that's horrible is that if you hit my arm and the ball goes out off of my hand, it's out off of me, even though you fouled me. They can't review to see if you fouled me.
Yeah.
It's almost like they think they're a legitimate court where they're like, oh, we're not trying this part, you know?
Yeah.
That's for another trial.
No, I agree completely.
I wish I had an example there.
This is not a court of law. This is simply, look, we're trying to make sure we don't fuck up. If we think we fucked up, we're going to fix it. And that's all we're doing.
Yeah.
Those are the rules.
Yeah, yeah. That
We
feels like
fucked up,
complete
fix.
common sense. The worst part is when they stop the game, go into a replay, and take a call that was correct and make it wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is another problem. You're only supposed to be using replay to fix things where clearly fuck-ups. Fix clear fuck-ups. Everything else, just let it go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, foot's on the line. That kind of shit's good. Even block charge, I don't think they should do. Who gives a shit?
No, let it go. That's a judgment call. That's a judgment call. I live with the fact that sometimes you're going to get blocks and charges wrong. That's
You're
fine.
a judgment call.
I'm the easiest call there is to make. I'm a no-brainer.
That's a serious bowling shirt you got on.
I'm not fucking around.
Fuck yeah. Is that a bowling shirt?
You're looking at the former 7-year-old state bowling champion of Rhode Island.
Wow. Candlepin?
Oh, yes. No, I'm fucking real 10-pin bowling.
Oh, wow. I thought all of New England was just Candlepin.
No, not real bowlers.
Do you still bowl?
I do not.
Oh, when did you stop?
I was forced to bowl from the time I was 3 until I was 13 and quit in disgust.
You were bowling with a big ball when you were 3 years old?
Yep.
How did that even work?
Yeah, I mean, they're light enough, you know, when you first go, you're just sort of like, all right, you're using 2 hands, but very quickly you're figuring out with the light ball, like, all right, here's how you do it with 1 hand.
Oh, yeah. It's probably like just like Spanish.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly like Spanish. I believe most of the kids in Spain learn to speak with 2 hands. But yeah, I bowled, but it was Saturday morning. We bowled every Saturday morning. My grandparents worked at a bowling alley, so they took us every Saturday morning to be a part of a league. And we wanted to stay home and watch cartoons because that was Saturday morning cartoons back in the day.
When did you start gambling? By 4?
Nah, I mean, it's funny. I still can't bring myself to gamble on sports. I've never done it.
Oh, it's a hoot.
That's what I fear. Like I have an issue with like, wow, these M&Ms are good. Why don't I just eat them until there are no more here?
Yeah,
I feel like I started gambling on sports, it would be the best thing that ever happened to me. And I'd get divorced and like lose my house and all that stuff. So I can't get into it.
I think the mere fact that that's your fear tells me that that wouldn't happen.
I don't know, man.
I don't know because
why I
like
can't ever try cocaine.
well, you shouldn't try cocaine because it's a fucking stupid thing to do anyway.
Right. but gambling on sports is smart.
Yeah, you shouldn't try. You
over.
shouldn't try fucking pulling your own teeth with pliers either.
I mean, at least there's an argument to be made for pulling your own teeth with pliers. There are
Dental
situations.
insurance is a scam.
Yeah, look, I've got an infection and it's going to spread to my brain, and I've got to get this tooth out.
Yep.
Like Castaway, sometimes you just might have to take the tooth out yourself. There's never a time where it's like, all right, look, I don't have any choice but to bet on Blazers Clippers. I have to do this.
Yeah, but all the people I know that do that, and I do know a few, started doing it when they were really young.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I do my form of gambling, I think, is the funnest. I wanted to have my buddy Doug Gurton on one of these because he owes me a gift. Like we just go $20 bets until one person's down $100, and then you give the other fella a gift. That's so it's good. Like worst case scenario, you know, you're gonna have too many appliances.
Yeah, that is fun.
Tripping over your own foot massagers because of your addiction.
My college buddies and I have been doing fantasy leagues for a while, and like it was, okay, you had to, you know, whoever won, everybody had to send them a prize or a gift, and eventually we just ran out of decent ideas. So like, you know, the last couple of times I just sent a Cameo because I couldn't think of any physical thing to send people. So finally, what we did this last league is we actually bought a championship belt that the winner would get,
fun.
And then it would go to the next champion. Yeah, so it's going to move.
Yeah,
so it's a one-time purchase, which I think
you
is much
can gamble much more innocently than people realize.
Yes.
You know, but I don't think there's like a, you know, and there's people who do cocaine like once a year at a bachelor party.
Yeah, I know people who have. And they're like, oh yeah, it's a once a year thing, and oh my God, it feels so good. And I'm like, I don't think I could do that. I don't think I'd be a once a year
guy. No, typically if I like something, I do it every day.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know, I bet you if you could make me like a half and half cocaine, I could do it.
What would the other half be? Like Nestle Quick, or like, would you look like the cocaine, or would you want to just mix it with something fun?
Oh, like in a drink form, you mean?
Well, or to snort, or however you're taking it, or
I would like to put it in some kind of pomegranate-y smoothie.
Yeah, see, I feel like if you're gonna mix it with something kind of
fun. It with something good.
Yeah, I'd go chocolatey.
I feel like I'm gonna have enough energy from the cocaine. I don't need more sugar.
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
Fair point.
In fact, maybe I want to do it with some kind of high protein fat thing so it'll burn slower. Chicken wings.
Interesting. So just like buffalo cocaine?
Yeah, some kind of buffalo cocaine or a brisket.
Oh man.
Now we're probably rocking some major heart issues.
Yeah. That wouldn't be great. Can we get some caffeine in here?
It's almost like, did you ever see the list of things James Gandolfini ate?
No.
It was like his dinner menu from the last night he was on Earth. Basically, he just brisketed himself to death.
I mean, if you got to go. Not terrible.
I don't know. I don't think that's as fun. It's got to be more painful than it looks.
I mean, it's, you know, there aren't a lot of gentle goings off. What's a gentle going off? What's the best way to die?
Best way to die? I think in a plane crash.
Oh, I think that'd be one of the worst ways.
As long as it's not my fault.
It would probably be your fault.
I upgraded. If I did that thing where you're like, hey, we'll give you a free flight if you stand by on the next one, and then the plane crashed, I'd be fucking bullshit. But if it was like a Priceline good deal, that would also hurt me too. If it was like a Spirit Airlines $50 flight to Fort Lauderdale and I went down, that would suck too. But if I went like Delta, if I went Delta or United and the plane went down, I'd be like, well, this isn't my fault. This wasn't supposed to happen. And I'm fine.
But I feel like your gambling might lead to it. Like you'd get a Spirit pilot who needed to make a few extra bucks, and you go, "Hey, $20 says you can't get under that bridge."
I think, yeah, that would be bad. Or just like, checking a text and you just drive off the Bourne Bridge and you got like 200 feet down. And then like midway through, you're like, all right, well, at least send this text off.
Would you finish the text?
Trade smart.
That's going on your tombstone.
Yeah.
Wow.
The real problem with Marcus Smart is when he drives, there's no chance that he's trying to score.
Yeah.
So the whole defense knows he's either going to throw up this shit floater, which you're not going to hit that much of, or he's driving to pass. So he doesn't create double teams at all.
So is there one move you could make today that you think would fix the Celtics? Like is there a trade to get the right point guard that you think would make everything work?
Well, I mean, I don't know how much you can get for Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen, you can get a lot for.
Are we sure about that?
Yeah. I mean, right now, whenever people talk about the underpaid guys in the league, he's there. And when people talk about trading it, the hot take that everybody makes, so it's not that hot a take, is I'll tell you right now, I think I might keep Jaylen Brown and trade Jason Tatum.
I wouldn't do that.
I would not do that either, but I'm pointing that out just to show you the value that Jaylen has around the league. Jaylen would get you something premium.
What's premium?
I mean, if you called Portland and said Jaylen Brown for Damian Lillard, as long as Damian was cool with it, Portland would make that deal.
You got to give more than Jaylen Brown just to make the numbers match.
Yeah, you'd probably have to do some filler. But
you'd actually have to trade 2 Jaylen Browns.
Jaylen's at 20 and Dame's at 36, something like that.
I thought it was more than that, but in either case. So yeah, you'd have to do Jaylen and Rob Williams.
What is this is an answer I can find. Hang on. Actually, producer Paul, could you look up?
But that's something I would do. Yeah, I would. I guess I would do that. But then there's also the question of, does Damian Lillard suck now?
I don't think Damian Lillard sucks. I think he's in a sucky situation.
Sucky situation, but it's also wrong side of 30. They say he's got some ab issue.
Yeah.
And his shooting percentages have plummeted. So if you're on the wrong side of 30, I'm hoping the year you're going to be best conceivably is this year.
Okay, so easily you could get Damian Lillard for Jaylen Brown. Could you get something better than Damian Lillard for Jaylen Brown?
I mean, I just don't know if your timetable matches up then, because now I have Jason Tatum, who's 23.
Yeah.
Probably not going to be championship level player for another 2 or 3 years. And then,
so do we just ride this out? Is our belief right now, Celtics are not ready. They're still a couple of years away. Ride this out.
Well, yeah, the riding out is not a horrible option, but they have to improve as playmakers. $45 million for Damian Lillard. I wouldn't do that. Yeah, I wouldn't fucking. That's why they suck.
That's a big number.
That's a big fucking number for a point guard.
Wow. Jesus. Thank you, Paul.
That's a guy that plays no D.
2024, it's backloaded. $49 million.
That's
wow.
I would say good for him, but honestly, fuck him. He doesn't need that much money.
Yeah, which is another reason the Damian Lillard for Ben Simmons trade makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah, I think Ben Simmons has to go play in Europe or something for a year just to kind of have people forget who he is for a second. What fan base is going to be like, oh, we get this? Being arrogant and a pussy is not a likable. Like, who wants that guy?
I know. I spend a lot of time with them in comedy clubs.
Yeah.
Portland is as close to Europe as we have in the NBA. They will give him a chance.
Yeah, they have a loyal fan base kind of thing. And
if
Sacramento
says, look, we're not going to, we're too far away. We're not going to do anything. The best thing you can do is trade me for something you can build around right now. Portland wouldn't hold that against Damian Lillard, and they would give Ben Simmons a chance.
I was listening to the Cedric Maxwell podcast, there's a chance I'm the only one. And he's adamant that he would still trade Jaylen Brown for Ben Simmons.
Ugh, man.
His point isn't.
Centric loves the hot takes.
His point isn't wrong that Brown and Tatum are very redundant. You know what I mean? So you're just not going to have a good ball movement offense, and you don't have a lot of shot creation at all, and you're probably not going to. Like when I look at Jaylen Brown, I see a gunner. I don't see a guy that's going to ever average 5 assists a game.
The idea that you might need to split them up is a fair one, and it's one that we've all had to start thinking about. The idea that means you then trade him for Ben Simmons, who is one of the most fucked up players in the NBA right now, is insane.
Yeah, and I don't think it would play well with the whole don't actually like basketball sports radio contingent we have.
Yeah. No, God, that would be terrible.
Yeah, so that would go really bad. I mean, it's nicer than Philly, but I mean, fucking Baghdad is nicer than Philly.
Yeah. Philly's just the worst.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can tell. Look how happy the Horfords were to get back to Boston after Philadelphia.
In Philly, they booed Santa Claus, but in Baghdad, they just didn't clap. They're like, who the fuck's that guy?
And then they beheaded.
Why is he dressed so warm?
I mean, if you saw a guy dressed like that with a huge beard in the middle of Baghdad, yeah, I'd be suspicious too.
Oh, there's plenty of big beards
That guy's
walking
up to
around
something.
Baghdad. It's just the weird red hat.
He's hiding something.
Well, he's got that sack too.
Right. Yeah. And everyone's looking to see if he leaves that sack
In
somewhere.
fact, we should probably be staying away from that guy in all cities.
I mean, there's a really fair argument that we're teaching our kids something very wrong when we keep putting them on his lap.
Oh, well, one, that possessions will make you happy.
Oh, oof. Well, now we're getting deeper than I expected it to.
Yeah. Santa's a fat fucking an asshole in my book.
We lost Santa last year during the pandemic. That was a big moment in the Dorval house.
Because of pre-existing conditions?
No. So basically, Kyle, my son, who is now 8, when he was 7, as lockdown was starting. I don't know if it had anything to do with being in lockdown, but it was just the timing. Very quickly decided that the tooth fairy was not real.
Okay.
He's like, I don't buy this. It's like, I think moms and dads are the tooth fairy. It doesn't make sense. And just started breaking it down to this very logical way. And we said, he's at an age now where, if he's saying he wants the truth, we're just going to give it to him. And here's the thing. Once one of the magical figures falls, they all fall.
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah. If you lose the tooth fairy, you don't get to keep Easter Bunny, Santa Claus, none of them. They're gone.
Would you have to adjust for inflation with the tooth fairy?
Yeah. It's got.
What were you given for a tooth?
So we started with one of the neat tricks, and if any parents are listening to this, here's a great trick to use.
Nope.
The golden dollar feels special.
What is it?
So I used to get $1. You go to the bank and you get the golden dollars. So it's still just worth $1, but they seem really cool.
Okay.
So they like that. So we used to give them him the golden dollar. I think his first one was $5, and then give him some Pokemon cards.
Yeah, I think you got to give at least a 5.
Dude, it's a whole mouthful of teeth.
Sure.
Every time $5?
But I mean, it's not like when you lose an adult tooth, it's not like you get something. That's what there should actually be.
Because we have to
an
pay
adult loses a tooth, the government should send him like $100 for, hey, sorry, you can never get laid ever again. Yeah.
We don't get a free replacement. How many teeth is it before you really think it affects your ability to get laid? How many teeth do you have to be missing?
Well, you forget that you could also eventually attract a certain kind of woman. But I mean, one front tooth, you're kind of gone. Right?
What about on the side? You lose an incisor.
It's like the opposite of real estate. Like in real estate, corner location good. With tooth loss, corner location. Oh yeah, they're both good, I suppose.
Good.
You want
So
corner locations to go.
Yeah, instead of opposite, they're actually exactly the same.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a weird dyslexia I have where I think things that are different are the same.
I feel like you can withstand one missing tooth because there's probably a good story about what happened to that tooth.
Maybe the government or
up.
some kind of fairy can send you the story of your missing tooth.
You come up with it.
Huh?
They're sending you money. You need to write something.
Don't start playing hockey past 30 or something, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and you decide like how deep a backstory you want to have. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I never played hockey, but my dad loved hockey. When I lost him, that was how I stayed connected with him.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
lost a tooth, and I didn't even want to replace it because it reminded me of my dad.
Small,
But you're getting laid.
small
that night.
price to pay to stop a school shooting.
Exactly. But you don't go school shooting because they can look that up.
Huh? No, because it didn't happen.
No, but if you stop the school shooting, that's leading every newscast.
No, because I bit the
guy
guy
stopping
before he was
shooting?
going to come in.
He's still at the school with a gun. That's making the news. You look it up. Now you've got to come up with a fake name. You've got to actually find someone that happened to and pretend to be that guy. In my version, you're just connected with your dad in a really nice way. You've got some kind of wistful energy that they enjoy, and no one can ever prove it didn't happen.
I got to be honest with you. I didn't even hear your version. I was trying to come up with my own.
This is the essence of this podcast.
It's also really the highlight of why. That's the highlight of why comedians are bad actors.
Yeah, but this is it. Yeah, when I'm talking, Dan is just coming up with his own stuff, and he doesn't come in with it when I'm done. It's just whenever the thought is fully formed.
How do I one up my partner?
All right, that seems like a good note to end this week's podcast on, because I don't think we have any Red Sox news to cover, and neither of us actually watches hockey. We just play it and lose our
hockey scoops
of our dad. No big hockey scoops. I don't know. I guess the coach might get fired.
Who is our coach?
People are mad at the GM. I don't know. I guess I should know. But I hear on the radio in the morning sometimes that the GM might get fired.
Oh,
but there you go.
Don Sweeney?
Is that Don Sweeney?
Is it Don Sweeney?
Paul told you that. Yeah.
I know. As soon as the Sega Genesis era of players dies, I'll never know another hockey player again.
All right. On the very happy note of Jeremy Roenick passing away, I am Mike. That's Dan. And we're going to be back next week. We're going to be talking about Boston sports. So, Dan, you got anything to plug for the week?
No.
Okay, perfect. This is why this is all tax deductible, because we use it to promote our hugely successful careers as comedians. All right. I'm Mike Dorval. That's Dan. We'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.